guess we better get started. Yeah. You got to make it matter. If it don't matter to anybody but you just got to make it fucking matter. I'm not dated. I'm totally up to date with my shit. I'm just a mature gentleman of leisure. My curriculum may have changed from what it once was, but I have not changed one iota and am just as dedicated to what I'm chasing now. So much so that I'm rededicating myself to my fucking goals. We all know somebody that's thinking beyond where you are in life. And hopefully who you know is as valuable to you as who I know is to me. Now let me hip you to something that you don't really think about. Now, see, an older pimp told me a long time ago how to deal with an aggressive female. Now, I'm going to tell you about this. How to deal with an aggressive female. Now, one time I was invited to an interview and I accepted. I sat and spoke with two hosts, a black man and a black woman. They told me if I wasn't sure of myself, that I could back out because they was gonna go in on me. I looked at them both and said, "Don't ask no questions you don't want to know the truth about." We started interviewing, and before long, that female host must have thought she was dealing with a sucker or something because she challenged me on some shit I said. I had said that I could catch just about any woman I talked to. And she wanted to go off about it. Now, first, I roasted her ass as only I could. Then I said, "Lady, if you keep talking to me, I'm going to catch your ass right here in front of this camera in this audience." Now, this is the first thing you learn in the second half of the semester at SWU. How to deal with an aggressive woman. I had all this planned out before I even went out to the interview. Because I'd already heard how they, go in on motherfuckers. I knew all I had to do was finesse that female host into a debate. She took the bait and started to challenge me about, me being able to take her home or not. The thing about bait, you better know how to fish once you cast your goddamn line. Because I knew all she had to do was respond to the suggestion of me taking her home. Now, I know her response wouldn't be positive. So she said, "I doubt that. I'm not broke enough for that." I knew I had her when she said that. So I said, "You think a woman must be broke to deal with me? I didn't call professors and women that already were rich." She cut me off. "Well, you can't catch me." Now, let me tell you something. She said that shit again. I looked into the camera and said, "You all are going to be privileged to witness a real motherfucker being a motherfucker." See, at SWU, we learn not to indulge a female who's combative. You tease her. You tease her with statements that question her character. which will upset them. Achieve this, and you can have her. Now that she's a little upset, all I had to do was get the lady upset at me. Then I would ignore her and speak to the male host as if she wasn't there. So I started talking to dude. You see, man, if you were a conversationist like me, you'd know what to watch for when you know, at a live one. Bitches, and he cut me off and said, hold on, man, you don't have to call her a bitch. Now, Captain Save-A-Ho, he had chimed in and I smashed him. Look, man, you asked how does a pimp catch a potential hoe, and I'm catching her now as we speak. If you notice, look at her nostrils. See how they are flared? That's excitement and intrigue, bordering on her taking her panties off right here on the motherfucking camera. A man like me noticed shit like that. She didn't cut me off. I'm not excited. At SWU, we learned ignoring her forces her to interrupt your flow. And when she does, she's no longer on her trip. She's finally enthralled in trying to trip me up and what I'm saying, to no avail. But I'm much sharper than most, and she doesn't realize she's in quicksand. I looked at her and said, yeah, that's what your mouth say, but your body language and your eyes are saying something else. You do know I'm fluent in several languages. Body language is one. Then I looked at the male host to ignore her some more and said, you see how wide her eyes are? Like she's on cocaine or some kind of drug or something. She's on something, all right. She's on my black ass. The fact that I was ignoring her was killing her. I then looked at that black woman who was a fine motherfucker and said, you would get paid on that track if you let me lace you. She looked at me and said, oh really? How much do you think I could make? Now right here, fellas, you gotta see. Man, she's into me. You gotta know when she's on your line. That's the art of fishing. I do. And she's asking how much can she make. Now as a fisherman, I gotta know how to reel them in. But I fish big. I don't just have her on my line. I have the host on my line and the entire audience. And to them, and I let them all know, I knew it. Now I looked into the camera and said, besides her nostrils flaring and her eyes wide open, she is now asking me how much money could she make. Now I'm a fly ass motherfucking pimp, and about how much could you make, I mean, that remains to be seen, baby. But just so you don't get it twisted, I want the audience, and then I stared at the motherfucking two hosts. I want the audience to see. Here you have a sophisticated black woman sitting on an interview, her show, asking a pimp how much money could she make. And you still want to believe I can't have this motherfucking woman. Now at this point, the dude host said, you know what? Her nostrils are flared and her eyes are sprung. Rosebud, I think she is interested in you. I smiled my all Ken Harry smile. And I said, trust me, she is. But I wouldn't mess with her with a 10-foot pole. I just wanted you all to see how fly I am. See, most people don't understand why Out of all the people in the fast lane, the pimp has been embraced the most. Let me tell you why. The pimp was the first black person after slavery that said, fuck that shit, I'm as good or better than a white man. Get the movie The Cotton Club and see for yourself. Lawrence Fishburne was the pimp, Bumpy, and he was the first black person to walk in the front door of the Cotton Club, which was really the Apollo. A club, it was in Harlem, where there were many black entertainers that performed and made the club a place to go. But they couldn't enter through the front door. But after Bumpy started really pimping, he said, fuck that. And the rest is history. We have always been a symbol of real freedom to the hood. Now, I'm just completing the first month of my new system. And let me tell you, I've made great strides. All the students are, learning the ins and outs of conducting an engaging conversation. It's really rewarding to see the progression of a young brother whose diction sounds like he's speaking with his mouth full of marbles. You see this progression, and it's just beautiful when you see what that progress does for a brother who's made adjustments. And now, this motherfucker sound like Romeo. Practice makes perfect. And I feel my position. Of course, I always felt that I did shit in a major way. I knew I was a representative of, what a successful pimp looks like. But I haven't been in the street environment for a really long time. I think I haven't been in the street environment for over 20 years. And I'm proud to say I still have a lifelong respect from the major players of the day. I felt the adulation that the Rolls Royce driving young pimps have for me. They all had stories. Of course, I didn't remember them, but they had stories of when they were young and saw American Pimp and had the chance to meet me. I was an idol to them, an inspiration. You look at them motherfuckers now. I owned the world at one time, and now I own just my little corner of it. But I see that I'm welcome and allowed with respect to come into their world of being a practicing pimp and still have respect even though I'm retired. That's because even with all the shit I talk, no motherfucker has been able to, nor will they ever be able to, find a blemish on my pimping. I earned all I received, and I don't know how many of the OGs respect what I'm doing today and understand why. I mean, it's so many. I was not ridiculed for trying to wake up the dead, as we used to say. And major players in parts of the game that I was not in had the same respect for the effort I was putting in. See, this is entertainment to them because most of them are dinosaurs and only rely on their minds to think and really gather information. So to them, the computer is fun. I heard of you, but never had a chance, the pleasure of meeting you. I heard that no less than 100 times. I hear that no less than 100 times when I'm at functions. These are reputable men. I had to say the same thing too. We represent big game, and there's room for whoever's worthy. The Abadaba's Hall of Fame, shit. I wonder what do Hall of Fame motherfuckers think when they put one of their own to rest. I can only imagine, but I don't have to do that anymore because we did. A couple of years ago, we put Dewey to rest. And I know we sat and thought of all the amazing things Doobie did. From day one, from the first day Doobie got on, he swore he would not do anything less than all he could to be what the fuck he wanted to be. And he did. And he was. I love this fucking game. I know when you look at my YouTube page, you think you only need to see the newest couple of videos. You couldn't be more mistaken than if you thought you had two left feet. Go through the archives and look at as many of the motherfucking videos as you can. You know, you may have heard me speaking on one topic, but in all those videos, it might be 4 or 5 of them on that topic, and there are hidden gems in each of them about being what and who you want to be. Now, they are not entertainment. And let me repeat it with more emphasis. They are not entertainment. You know, I'm a truly blessed man to be able to witness what I've seen. And what I've witnessed is what I live for. I see a total respect and awe of the power of this fucking Abadabba. I went to the only real players' ball we had in many, many years. And I'm talking about Doobie's funeral. It was truly a going home celebration for him. I saw pimps, real fucking pimps, drag niggas, paper hangers, gamblers, giant D-boys, lawyers, preachers, thieves, and players from every corner of the country. I met and reacquainted myself with the game I love. There were so many true representatives there, I was just amazed. And there were only enough tears. There were only enough tears shed to fill a thimble halfway. And I was honored to be there. Any of you niggas talking about this 21st century game, go right ahead. I knew it, but I've been off the scene for many years and had started to believe you motherfucking soft shooting fuckers out there. I had been reborn with a new belief in this game. I saw no less than 15 young guns rolling double R's. And not one of them was talking that scary ass shit you motherfuckers be talking about. Each one of them had elevated their game and their position in that game, but they all came from the blade. I was almost convinced that y'all motherfuckers represented what was out there. You don't. And that's why I didn't see your fake ass there. Every motherfucker who believes in this game and promote this game's existence was there. If you weren't, what the fuck does that say about you? I know you had some important business too, motherfucker, to take care of. I know, yeah, right. If you weren't there, that tells me you have no respect for the game. Therefore, from now on, you're a non-entity to me. You don't exist, and whenever I speak to you, you don't have to remind me of what your name is. See, a lot of you motherfuckers think that this information in my course is new. Think that I think this information in my course is new. It's not new. It's been around since the beginning of the time, but it was lost. What I have that's new is an effective way of how to reclaim your confidence as a man. What's new is that it works. You will hear, stuff from me that you'll swear you can use, and when it comes time to use it, you won't. Because you don't have the confidence to put yourself out there. When you use the shit I say, you gotta put yourself out there. And that's where you guys lose, because you're too scared to be out there. I have what you want in the form of eloquent words of wisdom, fully available to you, and I don't think it can be any clearer. Your life is not in some woman's hand. Your life is in your hands, and where you want to go with it is between you and God. Not one woman will make your life any easier or more complete. Women can enhance your well-being in many ways, but none of them will complete you. What's missing can be found if and only if you look in the right places for it. What's up, caller?
Hey, bud, it's Ryan, man.
Hey, man, what's happening?
Hey, I'm glad I could catch you live. I missed the last couple shows, but I was listening to them, man, and I love how you retroactively kick the same shit that holds relevant moving forward. But, bud, I was calling you because I'm at a hospital. I'm leaving the ICU unit. My brother just had brain surgery out of the blue last week, and I know you lost a couple brothers along the way.
Yeah.
And I was just calling to say it's important to that confidence that we talk about. It's not about just getting bitches, you know. It's about, you know, when you're there talking to the nurses that's dealing with your loved one or dealing with your family, just projecting a sense of self-assuredness, like everything is going to turn out the way it's supposed to turn out.
Hey, bro, hold on. You saying something so goddamn important. I mean, that is the most important thing I done heard on this show in a long time. Confidence is not just about catching bitches. It's about how you represent what you represent, even in a time like what he's talking about. You know, who knows how you really think, but if you know how you should act, you're going to balance it, man. And balancing it even make you accept whatever the consequences is easier.
But can I speak to about the confidence in that form related to the bitches?
Yeah.
It's like if I know my caliber and my expectation of myself, a bitch will never see me get at her when I'm not confident. I know I ain't there. I won't make eye contact with the bitch. I'm just keep it moving. But when it's time to engage, it don't matter if it's a bitch, a doctor, your boss, a lawyer. You know, call Rosebud, make sure I ain't whack as fuck. Like, it's about turning that switch on and keeping it on as long as possible. Because everybody has a lowest common denominator, but we're all aspiring to be our best selves. And I think you really help to empower us to do that.
Okay, wait. What you're saying is good, except you made one gigantic mistake. And you know what that is?
Please tell me.
You should never have to turn it on. It should always be on. That's what's wrong with you guys. You guys think
if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
You goddamn right. And what I'm saying is, you guys think you're supposed to turn it on at a particular point and turn it off. No, dude. You're supposed to have it on so you can have it handy and available and use it when you need it. Remember that, man. Don't turn the way you think off. Learn how to live with it on a continuous, ongoing basis.
Good talk, bud. I love you for that, man.
Hey, man.
And I hope when I call, you recognize me as one of your jewel callers, man. I've been fucking with you for years, and hopefully when I say it's Ryan, like, you know who I am when I call in.
To be honest, Ryan, I can't really remember you, but your voice do sound familiar. Just keep calling in, Ryan. And keep keeping me up to date with your progress.
I appreciate that, my brother.
All right, man. Be cool. I was going to mention, but I didn't. What's up, caller?
What's happening, bud?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Hey, man. I can't complain at all, man. I was just listening in. The last caller had mentioned about turning it on and turning it off, and man, you know, shoot, just having the opportunity to take SWU and just be able to use what you taught me to carry forth in life, man. It's like it's always on, you know. And as you say, I just am. Or we just are, you know. It just is. We just, you know, that's how we are.
Hey, it's in us. It's not on us. It's not like some clothes that we can put on and off. This shit is in us. We cannot take it off. We cannot turn it off. And if you could turn it off, it's because you're doing way too much thinking, which is making you not do what you're thinking. You're thinking too much. You know, if you think it and do it, you won't have time to do all that thinking. You'll have time to make adjustments so you can get to where you're going.
Man, it's so simple once you realize it. But
Hey, that's the key. Realizing it. Some people need these words. Some people need some other words. But once they realize it, like you did, they're gonna be on their way.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, brother. Hey, I appreciate these fucking calls. See, that's what I'm talking about. Motherfucker getting calls. That's, you got people that's involved. Now listen, women can enhance your well-being in many ways, but none of them are gonna complete you. What is missing in you can be found if you're looking in the right places for it. Like I say, well, not like I say, a couple of years ago, I spent a day in LA at Magic Johnson's Park. I had heard about Rides for Peace. And all the local car clubs, motorcycle clubs, and bicycle clubs were involved. I'm telling you, it was the most beautiful thing to see. There were over 200 motorcycles. All of them so fly you would have wanted to ride one of them. The Corvette Club had about 45 vets, and the 64 and 63 Chevys were absolutely beautiful. They had the trucks and the drop bikes that raised up and down like cars. It was bomb. Now the reason I mentioned it is I was seriously thinking about how I could do some shit like that in Vallejo. I had a great time there. And people, let me tell you, there's a train coming. And I'm scheduled to be on it. You can get on it. But now, you can only bring one thing with you. And you have to accept that you won't be back. Ever. Now, if we get on this train, all the things we know now will change. And our integrity will be even more valuable to us. We both have been waiting on this train for a pretty good while now. And we're getting a little nervous about getting on it. But I decided to bring my desire to win with me. And I'm waiting. I don't know what you decided to bring with you. But given the fact that I can never return to where I am now, it's a little scary. Now, I hear the whistle blowing in the distance, and I only have a couple of minutes to make my mind up. Fuck, I can see the headlights. And now this train is up on me. Damn it, I'm getting on it. It's not often the train to success stops off at your feet and offers you a ride. I'd be silly not to accept, don't you think? From the very beginning of Obama's presidency, those Republicans tried to make his presidency a non-issue. When people try to thwart your progress, we should do like Obama did those Republicans. Ignore them and do what you're supposed to do. In the end, it's going to come out anyway. They never thwart me or my belief in what I can do as a man. I have always known that racism is alive and well in the United States, and I don't need racism to end. I just want equal chances at getting wealthy for my family. They hid it from people like me long as they could, but the more I look at life through the lenses I have now, shit. We know Donald's gay, and you can't stand to see a strong black man standing tall over this country. But what can he do? All his friends and filthy rich Republican black money or dark money, see dudes like me as the spook who sat by the door. The difference is we're on our own team, and we will not be defeated. Look, you guys started calling in at the end, which is cool. But I would like participation throughout the entire fucking video. So don't wait like you did. But I appreciate that you motherfuckers called in. A sidewalku.thinkific.com is hella better. The only thing that makes it better is that you can do it at your own pace. And you do have to wait for the assignments to get to you. I think it's every 5 days you get new assignments. But other than that, it's an ongoing process that can make you win. And that's all I'm about. Winning. I'm out. Oh shit, let's get the call. What's up, caller?
Hey, how you doing off the Roswell? How you feeling this evening?
I'm good, brother. How about you?
Hey, I'm doing very well. I've been looking forward to catching you on one of these lives. I've been wanting to ask you this for some time. I wanted to know whatever happened, whatever came about Hollywood Delano. I know you said in your audio book that his habits didn't mesh well with yours when you got to Hollywood, but I was always curious to know what came about him and your friendship. Like, did you like to stop eventually kicking it with him altogether?
Yeah,
like,
I stopped kicking it with him because he went all the way on that heroin. Years later, I seen Delano with one shoe on, walking on Sunset, man, and he just telling me a whole bunch of shit about what he'd been through, which I understood, but man, that's this game. Motherfuckers get in and they can't get out, but it don't have to treat them good. The only way it's gonna treat you good is if you be right. And evidently, he had a lot of shit in his past that wasn't right.
Yeah, most definitely. I appreciate you answering that question. That's something I always wondered after listening. I listened to your audiobook, more than a few times, more than a handful of times. So that's something I've always wondered and wanted to have the opportunity to ask you about. So I appreciate you. It's really too bad to hear that's what happened to the ism. What happened to the Pimp. I really, that's really too bad to hear that happened to him. But like you said,
he's an example of what I mean when I say you can't judge the information you get from where it's coming from. You got to only judge the information, because everything he told me, even though he was a drug using motherfucker, that everything he told me that was dope, I still do today. He gave me that. He gave me a whole bunch of information about being a pimp that was true. Except, he had a whole bunch of skeletons in his closet. That's on him, but that shit he was saying was true. And it was on me to get that truth or not.
Yeah, and you did that.
You know it. Hey, appreciate you, brother. That was some good shit.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
You know it. Be cool. Hey, look, fellas. With that, I'm finna take off. And y'all get with me. sidewalku.thinkific.com. I'm out.